Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Pleasure to have you here with us in London for the film festival. Maybe you begin with a brief introduction to In Camera. What can people expect when they watch it?
Have no expectations going in, but we got something to say, and we're saying it with this film.
That's what I love about film festivals, though. Like, you go see a film and you usually know nothing about it. So yeah, that's exciting.
And it's your feature debut, and there's something very fresh and original and sort of non-conventional about it. Maybe you could tell us a bit about the background, how did the idea come to you, and what was your approach in this kind of sense?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to write a fairy tale. I knew I had all of these ideas, but I wanted to communicate them in kind of like a fairy tale way. And I pitched to iFeatures, which is a scheme that used to run, and went into BBC BFI and Creative England and was like, I have this concept album. There's a side A and there's a side B, and it's like a game. And it was quite abstract, but I had a very clear understanding of the themes and ideas I wanted to communicate. But yeah, ultimately it was a story about an actor who's going on a kind of nightmarish journey, and things aren't working out for him, so he tries like something, kind of tests the boundaries of what is expected of him. And there was a period of 2 years of developing it with BBC, who were incredibly supportive.
Deciding on your cast, did you already have people in mind? And how do you decide on people sat here in the room, but also the rest of the cast in the film?
Yeah, we worked with Shaheen Baig, who is incredible. Nabhaan was conveniently the first person I met for the film, and I got given a list of people. I mean, after our meeting, I was like, I don't need to meet anybody else. Like, this guy is completely the right artist and collaborator for this part. And Amir I met through a mutual friend of ours called Alana, and I'd seen Limbo, and I thought he was incredible. And it was just, I couldn't think of anybody else after meeting him. It's an instant thing. I think like casting is really instinctive. Like, you just know when you meet someone if they are like the right kind of colour or texture.
And to bring you guys into conversation, maybe you can each, introduce your characters a bit, and why you wanted to play them when you first read that script. What really drew you in?
Hi, I'm Nabhaan. I play Aiden. I wanted to play Aiden because he's a really internal character. Well, he's not an archetype. You don't really see those characters kind of leading films being played by men. So that was the first draw, and then he inherits a lot of horror. And I think going through life and just waking up and moving through the world, we inherit a lot of horror. I wanted to portray that. I wanted to present that. The script has this live wire energy to it that we hope the film represents.
Hi, my name is Amir, and I play Conrad. I say that with trepidation because initially on the page there were no names yet assigned, and then we came up with one just through feeling throughout the process. Yeah, I was invested. I was invested in Naqqash even before he sent me that 200-page Bible. I was invested through that conversation with him, through seeing one of his short films as well. And then upon speaking to him, the references that he sent me, the paintings, the Jean-Paul Belmondo, the Muhammad Ali photos that fill the space. I think he was really trying to tell something about how identity, especially from somebody who is other, and how they fill that space, or how they occupy that space, and in conjunction to someone else who is of maybe a similar or gone through a similar trial and tribulation. So I really wanted to explore that. It was such a nurturing experience. I think from that one conversation going over to the rehearsal space, it felt like we were growing the character and that process and the relationship with Aiden, Naqqash's character as well. So yeah, it was such a playful atmosphere. So I was really invested in the people more so at first glance. And then and also what the script itself was talking about. Removing myself the role that I played, the actual script is everything I think that we want to speak about, but never really got the opportunity to speak about it.
I mean, what I love about it is it's so emotive and so provocative, but it's also not overly kind of earnest. It's sort of quite biting in its satire, and almost like you find yourself kind of laughing in unexpected moments because of how it's just playing up the ridiculousness of the casting process, and how people how it becomes a trend almost to have representation, but it's all very shallow. Was that something you really wanted to kind of get that balance between those two sort of elements?
Yeah, I really wanted to make like a playful film. A playful film that was funny and weird and absurd and had this awkward humour. And I think there's something really powerful about making people uncomfortable. And I think there's something really political about having people in a cinema feel uncomfortable. And I think comedy is just an in for that. And I think if you look at the themes of the film, you might expect like a didactic, issues-based film. And I was from the start, I knew I didn't want to make anything that was kind of about issues or was didactic. I wanted to take these themes and preoccupations that we have as artists and that I had as an artist and really just play and be playful with it. I didn't want to be too self-serious about it. And I think the film on every level is really playful. I remember in the sound actually saying to Paul Davies, who's incredible, like it's really important to remember the sound of this film is really playful. So the references we were looking at were like Scooby-Doo, when we had like the thunder and the lightning, and I kind of thought of the film as an actor, and like the production design and the sound, the score, like every head of department, I was saying like, you know, we're all kind of playing an actor. So it was important to prioritize that playfulness across collaborators, and it was fun. Yeah, we had like a real fun time like being playful in our roles. And even one day I remember actually I was directing a director directing something, so it was really meta and weird like that.
That was the first day.
It was day one.
Yes, that scene.
And we had extras who were playing crew, and I hadn't met the crew, so I was sometimes going up to extras and they were like, I'm not part of the crew. So I wasn't actually sure who was who. But yeah, day one was me directing a director directing.
The director in the film
cop
getting
show
cut was the most confusing thing ever.
Yes, yeah. I remember
Then
that.
Naqqash would come and be like, why did you stop?
Yes.
And I loved what when I was reading your notes, kind of the idea that, you know, maybe as a first-time filmmaker, perhaps you're not so burdened with having to sort of follow the rules necessarily. So you
Yeah.
sort of started from wanting to create this feeling, convey an emotion rather than being driven by the characters and plot first and foremost. And I think that so comes across in the film, and that's what makes it feel like it sort of defies a lot of stereotypes and defies a specific genre in that sense.
Oh, thank you. I'm really glad that comes across, because I think, you know, film is a really young medium. I think sometimes we forget that. It's only been around for 100 years. It's not like theatre or the novel. And I think all of these tools that we're inheriting, they're there to play with. And to me, like, making a film always comes from like this desire to communicate a feeling. And the kind of like nucleus of this entire film was like, how do we all represent life as it feels and not as it is? And how do we play with the tools, whether it is music or sound or performance, to really like stretch that and to kind of reinvent it? And also I think when you're coming from like the outside of something, like I didn't go to film school, I didn't really know how to make a film in a conventional sense. I think it's really important to like interrogate like all of these tools that I'm inheriting. Are they for me? Do they best serve the story? Is it how I want to make a film? And I think just having that kind of outsider perspective is really important. And I remember just in the process of it, trying to hold on to my naivety and really question how and why I wanted to do certain things.
And I was going to thinking of you guys, you know, as actors of colour, did you feel like it was a bit meta? I mean, have you ever been to interviews and sort of been treated how you were by the sort of the acting directors or casting directors in the film?
Yes. I think it was starting out, you always second guess what they want. I think when I was at drama school, I never thought anything. I never thought like, oh, it's gonna be how it is. You know, I thought I could play anything. There will be no questions asked, no problems. But as soon as you enter the industry, you're quickly put in a box, and your objective is to get out of it rather than play the game, and then naturally over time, people see you as just a performer or a person. But yeah, there have been numerous accounts where I've heard comments and been like, oh, okay, interesting. Or trying to play what they want or want to see. I'll overplay what they are projecting.
I don't want to speak on that because everything I have to say with regards to that is in this film, and we poured it all into this film. What I will say is, as an actor, you're in a position where people feel like they can project onto you what they think you are. And Aidan just internalizes all of that. You see the frailties of that. That's what happens.
And there was also a scene that made me think of in Triangle of Sadness. They you know, that opening bit where he's doing the modelling.
Yeah.
And it's on a similar vein, which is, you know, it's like supposed to be about sustainability or something, and yeah, the way it's satirized, you know, it just points out that in this day and age we have this illusion perhaps of progression, but it is only skin deep sometimes, and it's just another way of brands, you know, trying to make money as opposed to it being genuine progression.
Yeah, and I think this is what made the actor the perfect metaphor. Because like, I didn't set out to make a film about the film industry, because I didn't know the film industry. I had no engagement with the film industry. But it's so much about your identity, and it just made it the perfect kind of fairy tale setting for all the things I wanted to say, and it was just the perfect metaphor for all those reasons, yeah.
And on the set, you know, it sounds like you actually had a lot of fun. What were some of the best moments, but maybe on the other side, some of the most difficult moments, difficult scenes?
Making independent films is difficult, but it's the best thing in the world to do as a job. That's crazy. Best moments has to be collaborating with these guys. They're truly like my favorite people and artists. It was so fun to see every take, what they would do. It's like the best artists to collaborate with, and every day was something brand new. Every take was something brand new. I don't think we ever did the same thing twice. Like, I don't think any one of your takes is like ever the same. So I'd say, I mean, that's why I want to make films. Like, I love working with artists, and what these guys were. Difficult day. I remember one day we have this scene that involves kind of like a lot of blood. And so we had 90 gallons of blood that was supposed to be red, and it was translucent orange. And we had one take to get it. But with the best team and our cross-department problem solving, we managed to make it work. But I think, you know, directing is just problem solving. You turn up, there's problems, and you have to solve them. And that's what's also great about independent film. I have all of these people who are so excited about what they're doing. They're just ready to solve all those problems with you. So a lot of our great ideas will come from problems that were presented.
Yeah, for Aidan, I mean, the subtleties that you have to bring out, you know, because sometimes he's barely saying anything or barely doing anything, but there's these subtle changes, and you have to convey so much of what's going on in his mind, and like you said, that interiority, without being able to be so expressive.
I expected just one like massive sacrifice. I basically just expected to sacrifice my soul doing this film. No, I sacrificed like a lot of my energy. I would say my highlight was making friends. Legit, like, making friends is the best. If you can do that at work, then you're really winning. And just calling these people my peers, you know, is so incredibly talented. Like, it extends beyond these guys, but to the crew as well, some of our heads of department. An incredibly young team, by the way, right? So you got Naqqash making his first feature, and then like you got heads of department who are under 30 years old, and just such a young team in general. We really stuck together and we made some buddies, so that's my highlight.
Yeah, we had a lot of 90s babies running the show, which was great.
Like, you just reminded me of the conversations we used to have, like, after we'd shoot and stuff, we'd go and have dinner together and stuff, and there was such a nice communal feeling throughout the set. I personally didn't want to, like, part from either of them, and I think and Rory as well, who's not with us today. But yeah, look how much time has passed, you know, and yet we still hang out, we still meet up, we still try and make time for each other and stuff, which is great. It was such a playful experience. It was so much fun, honestly. Like, even being on set, like, there were no set expectations to play in a particular way. We'd done our work, and we just come in to receive whatever comes our way, and it was great. It was such a special project to be a part of.
What do you hope people will take away from watching the film? I guess, you know, the fact that you go in and you don't really know what to expect, and I think it's definitely one of those films that stays with you. You sort of have to keep digesting it for a while afterwards. Almost, it needs a second watch, I felt.
No hopes, no expectations, no judgments. Just watch it again and see what comes out the second time. Yeah, if you can.
We were having revelations even whilst filming it. Honestly, we read the script several times, and then midway through shooting, we're like, oh, hang on a second, you know, and certain metaphors would pop up and be like, hang on, am I? Don't obviously want to spoil anything, but like, yeah, am I that? And the catch would be like, I'm not giving anything, but like, it'd be like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, and am I endowing that person as this? Oh, like the light bulb kind of clicked.
Yeah,
and we're still doing it. It's like, even I've seen it twice now, and like the second time, like you said, I've been like, is that what I was doing?
It was like I kind of had to play with them all because I feel like the three of them, Rory and Nabhaan and Amir, they're like in different films, but there's information I just didn't want them to have about their other characters. So it's kind of like you're playing this playful game with like incredibly smart people who are like one step ahead of you, and then you're like trying to misdirect them. But like I said, the film is playful, but like I wanted the process to be playful. I remember thinking about that a lot when writing the script, and as a director, you know, you're like a leader, so you want to create the most perfect environment so these guys can do the best work. And I think your main responsibility and job as a director is just to facilitate the perfect circumstances for the best work to happen.
What does it mean to you guys to have the film here at London Film Festival, and I guess being able to see it, you know, with a large audience and have that instantaneous reaction must feel amazing.
It's so special. It's NFT one tomorrow. Like,
We just
what?
in like an hour. Mad. Not even.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But this is a testament, not necessarily because everyone wants to go see it in camera, which is great. I'm glad that they are. But like testament to the culture. It's still here. You know, I remember Scorsese was talking. You know, he did a talk recently, and he was saying how like the way we view cinema has changed. Maybe in a negative way, but to still see that people are queuing up for tickets to go watch something that they've never even heard of, and to have that shared culture and that shared experience to watch something and react differently, that's really special. And cinema isn't made just for us to just, you know, disengage, but to actually engage. Cinema is fun, but it's also, it's like how we eat food together. It's a communal thing, not a isolated experience. So I'm over the moon that we're gonna get to sit in and watch it with other people and listen in.
And do you feel like the cinema landscape seems in a good place right now? And I guess films like this are a testament to that, you know, things are opening up and you don't have to kind of stick within genres or stick within stereotypes, or, you know, things have to be an issue-based film, but actually this seems to be so much more breadth, and definitely the London Film Festival this year I felt that.
Definitely. I mean, like, the very fact that like we even saw outside of the festival circuits, Barbenheimer, you know, two polar opposite films, and yet packing out, you know, cinemas. I think this is exactly it. Like, they didn't. The marketing actually was secondary. You know, the people actually made that happen. Yeah, we need to bring that back. We need to carry on that train. We are against a world where we want things instantaneously, we get bored easily, we want that 15-second kind of dopamine hit. So we are fighting against a lot of that. I'm glad that, you know, it's still persevering.
It's exciting. Like I said, it's still a young medium. It's still figuring itself out. Like, audiences are incredibly intelligent, and I've seen so many excellent films this week that just make me really inspired. Like, I saw Moin Hussain's Sky Peels yesterday, and it was, I'm just so excited to be like making films at the same time as him. And I thought it was so introspective and so beautiful, and I was so struck at how brave it is as a film. Just, you know, like Amir was alluding to, we live in like a kind of ADD 15-20 second culture, and the bravery of like Moen being like, we're just going to hold in the shot, I'm just going to stay with this person. To me, that's like really radical, and it's so exciting to see as an audience member, but also as a director. You're like, yeah, there's so much to do in this medium. Yeah,
People queuing up.
yeah,
8 a.m. on a Sunday morning, so that's not a bad start.
Yeah.
I think anytime something gets repetitive or predictable or stale, then something just comes along and just bursts its way through and makes you rethink what cinema is or rethink what music is. And yeah, we're really in that. We're really in that moment, you know, meeting our peers at this festival, and we've taken this film to other places, which has been really incredible, like places we've never heard of, you know, when they're showing our film and people are responding. So then to bring it back to London, it's like, you know, it's a really special homecoming. We can't wait.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that with me, and yeah, I
Yeah,
can't wait
thank you.
for everyone else to have the chance to see in camera. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.